Hey everyone, welcome back to Meet the Ramps, episode 2 of softball. We have to my right here, head coach Shannon Gower, and then to her left is a star outfielder, junior Haylie De La Rosa. How are y'all doing today, guys?
Good. How are you?
I'm good.
I'm good. I'm glad to be here. Glad softball's getting underway. But to kind of break into the season a little bit, I know you guys are 5-6, so not exactly where you want to be, but you have some pretty key wins, like going on the road to number 12, Our Lady of the Lake. You take one, you go 1-1 against them. And then this most recent weekend, you guys played Tabor. You took 3 out of 4 overall, taking 3 out of the 5 in the season against them. So obviously it's got to feel good. But how do you feel the season's gone so far, Shannon?
I feel like it's been nice to see some things kind of work themselves out. I feel like we still have a couple of kinks we've got to work out just across the board. I feel like our offense has been on fire, and I hope it stays on fire. So they've done a good job kind of after that first weekend, just kind of bouncing back and trying to just learn to work together and find ways to win.
Mm-hmm. And then same question to you, Haylie. Like from a player standpoint, kind of how do y'all feel?
I feel like we've grown a lot since the very first tournament. I think we're more consistent about like the games that we're playing. Mm-hmm. Our chemistry is definitely over the top, so I think that's what helps us succeed.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And so in some of y'all's losses, if you take a look at the box score, obviously you can see the main reason for our loss comes in from a really, really big inning against you guys where it's a team scoring 5 or more runs. So how do you take those moments and kind of learn from them and get better prepared for going into conference play to best avoid those situations?
I think something that I've been impressed with is when we have those big innings, you know, usually statistically like a big inning, that's going to go to the winner, right? Mm-hmm. As a group, collectively, we've done a good job multiple times fighting back in that nature. For us, it's more so just maybe making changes a little bit faster and creating a different momentum shift, especially if someone's kind of, you know, getting some hits in or, you know, it's not working with the umpires and they're, you know, walking some batters. But I would say that'd be the biggest thing is just making some changes a little bit quicker.
Mm-hmm. Has there been anything this season, whether that be good or bad, that's kind of surprised you about the team so far?
I don't know about, we knew we were athletic. Mm-hmm. I think the offense was more than I anticipated, which is fun to watch.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Yeah. So Haylie, going to you, obviously this is your 3rd year in the program, so you're quote unquote veteran now.
Yeah.
You're also the only player in Texas history to win the SAC Golden Glove twice. Mm-hmm. So when it comes to just your development as a player, was fielding always kind of the forefront for you, and how has that really translated into helping like your team grow?
Well, I would think, defense is a big part of winning games, but so is offense. So I think, you know, being strong in both aspects, you know, it does help our team grow. And, you know, when people see that, then, like, I think that once it'll give them a drive to, like, want to keep pushing and keep playing, you know? Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah. Shannon, a point you touched on earlier was just that offensively you guys are really good. And I think anyone can watch you games and see that for sure. So just to look at a few stats here, so as a team, you're batting .360 with 116 hits, which is tied for 16th in the NAIA overall. You guys have 63 RBIs, which is tied for 30th, and 30 extra base hits of the 116 hits that you guys have. So did you know, kind of coming into the season, that like your offensive prowess would be like your identity as a team?
I typically always want it to be the identity, you know, mm-hmm. kind of like Haylie said, like defense does matter. I mean, it will win ball games, but I like to make things happen offensively. Mm-hmm. If we're struggling defensively, if we're struggling on the mound, you know, we still ultimately have to score runs mm-hmm. to win. So I like offense. I'm an offensive coach by nature, but it's been fun to see some of the girls like lay a bunt down or just kind of play their game and do whatever they need to do to execute and get on base, mm-hmm. and to see the contagiousness of the hits when they really pass the bat. So we have an aggressive team, and I feel like that's going to be helpful for us in the long run.
Mm-hmm. And Haylie, kind of hearing those numbers as well, hitting leadoff every game, how does that affect you mentally with like hearing those numbers, like you guys are doing great, and you're obviously the forefront of that, getting everything started off, like does that put more weight on your shoulders, or does that excite you getting to hear those numbers?
I think, you know, I'm not really too pressured by it. I mean, it kind of just happens. I really just, I just go with the flow. So it's kind of, it's just how I've always been. So, I mean, yeah.
That's good. So obviously this year too, and I'm kind of bouncing around a little bit, but we talked a little bit kind of in our first show about just having a lot of newcomers and everything and kind of the impact they've had. So for both of y'all, just kind of take me into and take our fans into, like, who are some of those newcomers who have really stepped up, like, as a player, as a teammate, and like kind of the impact they've brought to the team?
I mean, I would say, if you kind of look at our lineup from this year to last year, there's so many new faces and new people and in different positions. And so, I mean, Peyton's done a really good job at short. I don't want to leave anybody out. So they've all done a really good job, whether it's coming in for a pinch at bat, whether it's coming in as relief. We have a freshman at second base. She's done an amazing job, and she just gets it. CJ behind the plate's done a good job. So Ray and left, it's been fun to watch her and Ray in the 1-2.
Yeah.
It's fire right there. So, and you don't worry about anything really dropping in the outfield. So they cover a lot of ground. So I would say all of our returners and newcomers are doing a good job just fulfilling that role. And then not to mention KK hasn't really been on the field much, and then she's coming in and she's hot this year, so she's done a really good job too. So.
Yeah, some of the newcomers, I mean, she pretty much said all the ones. Ray, Peyton, Christina, Audie, yeah, they've definitely came up big and helped with our team success so far. So.
Yeah, I was like, just from watching last year compared to this year, it feels like y'all are just way deeper and everything, which is, I'm sure, super helpful because obviously injuries, heaven forbid they ever happen, but
yes.
But they do happen, and like having those people to step into those roles and kind of the next man up mentality, I think really helps a lot with y'all guys, with you having all of that. So transitioning from non-conference into conference this weekend, you guys play against Mid-America Christian. So how are you guys feeling going into it? Like, are you nervous, excited? Where do you guys feel you guys are at?
I'm excited. I can only speak for myself, I feel like the team's excited. I feel like we have a lot of passion this year. We have goals that they want to reach. The chemistry, like she said, is really good, and that's going to be big for them. That's what's really going to carry us through, tough games, failures, just the length of season, battling together. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I feel like we're definitely prepared. We have some work to do, which that's like every week. So, but I think we're prepared whenever we go against them. So.
Yeah. So also in the first show we talked about just the way the schedule plays out and just kind of how that can affect the team mentally and everything. So going into this year, your first four conference series, obviously you stay home against MACU, go on the road against USAO, come back home against Southwestern Christian, and back on the road against Oklahoma City. So of three of those teams, being USAO, Oklahoma City, MACU, they finished top three in the conference, all three above y'all. Obviously, we talked about how MACU has a different team this year. Things can be a little different, and you guys feel that this season is a huge step up. So getting to face three teams that finished in the top three, or the top three teams that finished in the Sooner Athletic Conference last year, does that excite you? Do you feel that you're going to have, like, you have the momentum in your favor? I guess, what does that look like for y'all mentally, and are y'all prepared?
I feel like we're prepared. I feel like some things go week to week because maybe we struggle with something on a weekend and we have to kind of finesse it throughout the week, or we're playing a different opponent, so we have to adjust some things. So I feel like the team's excited. I feel like they kind of know. They know about USAO, OKC, MACU, things like that. And there's rivalry. And so rivalry really sets the tone. And it doesn't matter like how different a team it is or who we play. Every day we have to show up. And to me, whoever shows up that day can take the win. So.
Yeah, I feel like every team's a threat. So, I mean, when we don't treat them like that, then, I mean, that's when we don't play our best. So I think, we have to treat every team like they're all good. And so,
Yeah. And I'm sure it does help, too, getting to play the tougher opponents early. And then once you see them again in the conference tournament, like, you guys have grown as a team since then, kind of deal, which is really cool. Haylie, back to you. Obviously, I talked about earlier that you're a veteran on this team. You're a leader. Like, people look up to you. People want to follow your lead and everything. So looking to last year's stats, you had a 454 average insane, by the way. 33 runs scored. You had 17 RBIs, and I don't know how, but you only struck out 4 times in your 119 at bats with 16 stolen bases as well. So all that to say, and you got first team all conference and second team all region. So incredible year.
Thank you.
What's the next step up?
I don't know. I think just not putting so much pressure on myself and just staying present, staying in the moment. I think, that will help. I mean, I don't want to put, a lot of pressure on myself to succeed even more, So I think, just keep on working. And, I think that will just, help me with this year coming in.
So I know it's kind of an added question here to you, Shannon, but for players like Haylie that have had amazing years, so we had Kylie on here last time, like where have you seen them really step up this year to help the team grow even more and lead like any incoming transfers or freshmen or anything like that?
Haylie is just consistent since her freshman year to now, and not necessarily as a performer, but as a person. She shows up, she gets it, she doesn't complain, and she leads by example. And so she has not shifted in how she is as a person or an athlete at all. So to me, that's a prime example within itself. She just buys in and she just flies. So she's done a really good job representing the program and herself ultimately. And she does. Like, I remember last year I talked to her about some of her goals. She's like, I'm just giving it to God. And, didn't want to think about it too much because then that's when the pressure kind of sits. So she's present. She's where her feet are. So she does a good job with that.
Well, I hope I didn't add any pressure by bringing up stats or anything like that. Obviously, that's my job. I'm a big stat guy. I love it. But you had a tremendous year last year, and I can't wait to see what you do this year. So final question for both y'all. Obviously, the Winter Olympics have finished up and everything, and USA is awesome. Heck yeah. So my question is, if you could legitimately compete in any Winter Olympics event, what do you think your best one could be?
Probably curling.
That's what everyone says.
It just doesn't seem like, I don't know what they're doing really, but I would like to do snowboarding, but I would probably say curling at the moment at my age. You know what I mean? So
maybe figure skating. Is that
Oh, really?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Can you skate?
I mean, I'm not bad at it. I could probably rollerblade, but that's about it.
Heck yeah.
I'm not sure.
Well, I was worried that everyone was going to say curling because I'm in the same boat. I'm like, I don't know what else I would do. Like, I'm not a great skater. I think speed skating is super fun. It's a lot of fun to watch, but I'm not fast. I gotta kind of hug the wall a little bit when I skate. So, but I have a brother-in-law who's up in Iowa who makes me look like a complete novice, which I kind of am. But so. All right. Well, that's all I have for today. Thank you both so much for giving me your time and being able to talk to everyone here. Thank you all so much for joining us. Come out this weekend to watch them play MacU on Friday and Saturday. For any other information, go to ramsports.net and just go to the softball page and you'll find out everything there. We'll see you later.